Thank you so much, Akil, for inviting me on this masterclass. And my name is Shishir, and I'm based in London, UK. I'm a financial scaling coach, but mainly for retail businesses and retail businesses to scale the business fast. But inventory plays a huge part in that part. So the today's webinar topic is how to prevent inventory from consuming your cash flow. So, so who is this webinar for? This is for if you are retail business owners, if e-commerce businesses, if it's Zoho customers, or Zoho inventory customers, and what do you want to do? Who wants to have control in your cash flow by optimizing their inventory? So what we learned from this masterclass is four things. And there are four things that I would like to cover. We only have half an hour time to do this, and I want to give you maximum at least one thing that you can take away from this webinar, from the masterclass, that you can take actions in your business and move forward faster. So how inventory affects your cash flow, what the common mistakes busy business owners make, and what are the challenges that they face, and what are the tips that you can walk away from today that you can implement in your business straight away. So, and there are two outcomes that I would like to, I'm sure that you'll get from this masterclass today, which are to stay clear of mistakes that business owners make when it comes to inventory effect on cash flow. And the second one is this finding solutions for existing problems about how your inventory is affecting your cash flow. So I've been learning myself, and I want to call to myself to be the expert in what I do. I'm always learning and improving on myself, and I would like to call to myself a passionate student of the subject, and always trying to learn from my mistakes, learn from what I've come across, and also working with people and gaining, sharing knowledge, and as we go through in this business journey. And this is some of the sessions that I've delivered in terms of profit growth and cash flow mastery for entrepreneurs from different walks of life, from different demographics, at different stages, different scale of the business, and with the sole intention of growing their profits and cash flow to keep the engine going so that they can scale the business faster, steadily, but sensibly, just at the right speed. And I've written a book called The 3 Key Obstacles to Faster Growth and How to Overcome Them Using Cloud Accounting. It is based on my learning that I've learned helping our e-commerce business to triple the revenues from 600,000 to 1.8 million in 4 years' time. But that's not the interesting part. The interesting part was when they were scaling the business, but tripling the revenues, the profits were even much higher. Normally, what we come across is that they think that they will gain economies of scale and they'll be making more profit as they sell more. But we don't actually see like that. Normally, when the business grows, there's the pains of margin being squeezed, and normally business starts making less profit. But in this case, the business was making more profit. So the first phase of what I'd like to talk about is how inventory affects your cash flow. So as a business owner who doesn't need to be a financial expert in running a business, and I want to keep this like a top level information for you so that you can just walk with this information and work on your business, because you're not trained to be a finance person. You don't need to know like in 98% of the accounting and finance side how it all works. You just need to 1 or 2% as a business owner wearing that hat and take this information and really understand the relationship between inventory and cash flow in your business. So when you buy inventory, what happens is you'll have increase in stock holding, and that will decrease your cash balance. And same is the opposite. So when you sell inventory, that equals a decrease in stock holding and increase in sales, which means that you'll also be increasing your cost of sales, because the stock holding from your balance sheet will now move to profit and loss as a cost of sales. And when your customer pays, and that will also increase your cash balance in your bank account. And so when the inventory becomes obsolete, damaged, and then it is adjusted to profit and loss statement as it goes in cost of sales as cost. So we really need to understand this as a business owner. And now you think about, okay, what can I do to when I have this information, what can I do with this knowledge? That how much do I buy? When do I buy? When do I sell? And those information will be next in your head. So, but the common mistake that I come across that I'm going to share with you very shortly are these ones that, and when it comes to running a business, that most businesses think that the only way to solve all my business problems is just to sell more. As long as I'm keep selling in my business and I'm doing okay, that's not necessarily the case. And and I have come across 5 common mistakes that business owners make when it comes to managing inventory and cash flow in the business. The first thing I would like to call about the speed, which means that when they start to see that things are working for them and they're selling products, and then they start to overestimate the sales volume in the future months, and they overstock their and at the end of the day, what happens is they don't end up selling as they think that they would like. Now, the problem with that is that now cash is being spent buying inventories. Now you have inventories, you don't have cash, and that means that you can't invest in other areas of the business. And second thing is they go for sales maximization, and anyhow at any cost they want to make more sales, because we have to remember that we're not in the business to make sales. We are in the business to make profit. That's the thing about the business, because sales metrics is just a vanity metrics. It doesn't mean anything when you don't have profit in the business. We need to look at the margins in the business. The third thing I would like to talk about the structure. So what I mean by this is, if you look at your profit and loss statement, you have sales, then you have the next stop is called the gross profit, after deducting cost of fulfillment, and then you have expenses to be covered. So you have the sales, then gross profit, then net profit. So what are the margins in the business? And that's crucial. And when you start to scaling the business, and if there is no much a profit margin left, and there's less chance and less opportunity to make mistakes. For example, a business just having 10% profit margin, and out of $100,000 revenue, it just means $10,000 profit. If that business spends $10,000 more on marketing in that month and does not generate enough additional revenue as a result of that, and the business hasn't made any profit. So having the right structure to ensure that the healthy profit margin is key. So you want to be looking at your products by you want to be looking at the profits and loss by products. And that's so crucial. That's a report that you want to be looking at every now and then. You can ask your accountant, bookkeeper, finance controller to get you this report and say, can I have the profit loss by products? Because that will tell you so much about what product to focus on. And the fourth thing that I would like to talk about is seasonality. That, and if your business is seasonal based, then and what you buy and sell, and when you buy and how much to buy, should be reflected in that one. And I'll talk more about this in detail very shortly, because I'm going to talk about one of my friends now and how he lost his £4 million business that he built over 5 years, and because of he made some of these mistakes. And finally, what they don't have is a system, and there's operating inefficiencies in the system. And for example, how many times have we come across that when you go and try to buy a product from a website, and then you say out of stock, and they said they're going to update you when the stock is when they have replaced this stock, and by that time the whoever wanted to buy, they may have already changed the decision, or they may have bought from someone else. So having system to find out like how much you need to have in your stock, and so that you can maintain efficiency in your business, is so crucial. So I'm going to talk about one of my friends. I just met him about 2 years ago. We've been really good friends since then, and he told me about a story that about 10 years ago, that how he lost his £4 million business, and and he had e-commerce business selling camping and outdoor products online, and is buying stock from China and selling primarily to the UK market. And took him like 5 years to reach from zero to £4 million of revenue a year. And I asked him like, what went wrong for you? What went wrong for you, Colleen, and what happened? And he told me that it was a seasonal business, and he overly relied on borrowing from bank to buy stock in advance. And when the global financial crisis um, and it caused instability, and the bank got really nervous and pulled the plug. And I asked him like, what would you different, like if you hadn't had this information at the time, what would you do now? And he says, see, the lesson that I've learned is that I need to have a system to manage my inventory well, and I need to be managing my cash flow and doing forecast, and not heavily rely on bank. So that because he took a gamble of growing a business even faster and backfired. So if you go back to here, and he's made most all of the mistakes here. The speed that he was going for it. He was borrowing money from the bank and stocking it, and he thought he found a magic formula to tell the stocks. He overestimated sales volume, and he didn't pay attention to seasonality. And when I digged him into the his structure, his profit margin were not that great. So he only had a less percentage to play with every single month. So when he spent additional marketing or hiring next people to work for him, and that margin was gone when he wasn't performing in that month. And on top of that, he also he also didn't have the right system in place. That there were lots of manual work going on in the business. For example, a purchase order was raised in one system, then the same thing would be done when they post into accounting system to raise a convert that into a purchase invoice. And same thing with the sales order. The sales order was raised in workbooks, and then they would type it again into accounting system again. So there were a lot of duplication of work, a lot of employee cost could have been saved, and maybe, just maybe, his business could have been saved just by having the right system in place. So, but this is not the only story of Colin. And they're like, if you look at the stats from score.org, 82% of businesses fail due to poor management of cash flow. And most of the time that I come across that when they talk about, okay, the business gone bust, and they think it's because of lack of sales. And what people don't realize is that actually it's a poor management of cash flow. They are trying to go so fast, or they try, and they end up having sales but not cash, and sales profit but not cash to pay for the bills, or they just they don't have the right structure in place to fund the whole thing, and whole thing falls apart because there isn't a system in place. Okay, so they do realize that as a business owners, that they make mistakes, that we all make mistakes because we're all humans, so we're bound to make mistakes, and in order to combat this, that they do have certain challenges. Although they try to fix it, they try to do something about it. So here's what I've summed up with. The challenge that they face, that they're either confused, like they don't know what they can afford to do or not, in front of how much inventory to buy, when to buy, and from whom to buy, and what are the margins that they can play with. Or maybe they don't have the confidence to how to look after the money in the first place. Maybe they can communicate to investors that how much fund they need for how long, for when they are going to return the money back, and so on and so forth. And maybe they don't have the cadence of preparing the cash flow reports on a weekly, monthly, and periodic basis to see the patterns, trend spikes, to see what's going on in the business, so that they can actually predict or forecast the future accordingly. Or maybe it's the case that they just can't calculate and what they need to do on business, and they just make decisions based on gut feelings. Maybe they are not able to secure funding for the business growth. Or maybe they are making a lot of profit in the business, but they are not able to capitalize and turn profit into cash flow. Or maybe they're not able to compound like all the stocks and everything that they have, not into a win-win situation, that having right amount level of support who does the accounting work, to having right number of salespeople, right, having right number of inventory buying, decision, procurement process, and all that. A small adjustment takes in to makes a huge difference in the business and finances and in the profit margins. So here's another client, and he sells luxury sofas, and he has e-commerce businesses, and he set up a luxury sofa retail business in 2004, and the business was growing, but it was not making significant amount of profit. And I started working with him since September 2009, and we focused mainly on improving cash flow in his business. And one of the crucial aspects of this was inventory management. Inventory management, and since then, now since 2009, his business has been growing year on year, has gone from 1.6 million to 8.4 million in revenues. And that is not the interesting part, guys. That is not the interesting part. The interesting part is his business is more profitable, is more scalable and sustainable, because his profit margins are growing, and that's really the key, having a sustainable and scalable business. So what we've learned from this story of this of this business, I've summed it up into 5 tips for you. So tips on managing inventory to protect and improve cash flow in your business. So here are the 5 tips that I would like to share with you. First thing is to take advantage of early payment discounts. What I mean by this is that when you have a free cash flow in your business, then you can have a conversation with your suppliers and say, okay, I need to pay your bills in 30 days time as normal, and happy to do that. But how about if I pay your bills in 3 days or 5 days or 7 days from the date of invoice? Are you able to offer me 2.5% 3% discount from the invoice? And mostly the supplier would say yes to that, because they are getting the cash as soon as the invoice is raised, and they have the financial commitments to do things in their business. And as a result of that, this business saved 48,000 a year just by using this tip and in this strategy. And if he had put the money in the bank account as normal, they would not get that level of interest. Now you might say, yes, this is okay for when it's a cash-based business, but it all boils down to having a cash flow report that tells you, your cash flow forecast report that tells you what your cash position looks like in 3 months or 6 months today. You can have this information today when you have done the right cash flow forecast, and then you can make a decision whether it's something that you want to implement in your business or not. So this is exactly what we did this slide. So we always say, okay, we want to maintain 150,000 at the end of the month, every month, as a standing balance. We're never going to go down by that amount. So anything over that, we will invest, and we would use strategies just like this to improve our gross profit margin. As a result of that, the business made additional 48,000. And the second thing is trade rebates. How it all works is that if you do business when you do business with a supplier, and let's say you gave him a business of $800,000 last year, and you anticipate that the sales will go up, your business will grow this year, and you can strike a deal with the supplier saying, hey, this year I guess and the business will continue to grow, and if I give you from 800,000 to $1 million this year, and instead of 4% or 5% rebate, would you up it up by 7.5%? And that means that they don't give you cash back. What they give you is a credit note, so that you can knock it off against the invoice that you need to pay to the supplier. And you get this at the end of the financial year when you calculate how much business you have given them and you have verified with them. And as a result of that, and this client also made additional 68,000 last year by doing exactly this. And the third thing that I would like to talk about is to focus on inventory optimization rather than sales optimization. And in the earlier part of this masterclass, I talked about the mistake that business owners make is to go for sales optimization, which is just at any cost, at anyhow, I'm going to go for making more sales, because that's the only thing that I can think of is most important task that I need to do in a business. And maybe this will be, maybe this is the solution to all my business problems, and they go for sales maximization instead. What I would suggest you to go for inventory optimization if you are in this business, if you have this nature of the business. Because let's say that you buy 1,000 units to sell, and whatever that is, and you sell 800 units in January and February, and you made good profit margin, and you end up with 200 units left in the month of March that is not sold, and it is occupying space, and you have to, someone has to pay for that storage charges, and and that is getting obsolete, and losing its value day by day. I'm assuming that you're not selling like art paintings that will grow in value as you keep more. Uh, I'm strictly talking about FMCG, fast moving consumer goods here, and so the longer you keep, and longer, the more you're losing its value. It's becoming obsolete, damaged, and then you'll have to sell it as a clearance, and something that you have just to write it up and goes into cost of sales as cost. What that means is that from that 200, you'll start making losses. So in the month of March, so whatever profit you made in January, February, that will be eaten up by the losses that you're going to make in the month of March. So that all came because of strategy of at any cost that I want to be selling, I want to be making more sales, and I'm sure that I'll make profit. If you go with strategy, and this will happen. If you go for sales optimization, this would probably happen. But instead, if you go for inventory optimization, you rather have 750 or 700 units that you bought, and you sell that, and you'd make decent amount of profit rather than buying 1,000 units. You sell 800 at a good profit margin, and not so good for the rest of the 200 units. And fourth thing that I want to talk about is the spreading the cost of buying over a period of time. And this you can do it when you have good relationship with a few suppliers that you've been working with for a long time. It's a win-win situation for both parties. And how it all works is simply you tell the supplier that, okay, and the next week I anticipate this you need to have good anticipation of your business, which months are spike months and which are dip months, and you can work based on this. And let's say that you anticipate the next month you're going to sell 100,000, and then the following month it's 50,000, and then 25,000. So we're in January now. So that will be 175,000 worth of goods that you're going to buy from suppliers. And instead, you say, you pay them 100,000 this month, 50,000 next month, and 20,000 the following month. You can strike a deal with the supplier and say, like, how about we divide for the next 3 months? You divide by 3. I'm going to pay you the X amount, which is an equal installment for the next 3 months. And this way, you have a guaranteed cash coming in your business. And I also have control in my cash flows. What this allows you to do, that instead of paying $100,000 now, you're only going to pay 1/3 of the 175,000, and the rest of the cash that you have right now, you can reinvest in your business right now to get more marketing channels, funnels, and etc., and get more sales. You have to understand the today's money versus tomorrow's money. That's this concept that we have to use, and that's how it all works. And finally, what I've talked about is a system in a business to do the heavy lifting for your business, and it comes down to managing the inventory of end to end. Because if you are in nature of the business that we're selling inventory, and you want to get complete control, handle of the inventory, because that has a massive impact on your cash flow, and it has a massive impact on your cost of sales. So you want to get complete handle on inventory. And I think so you want to measure the impact of inventory levels on cash flow so that you can improve your cash flow. Imagine this, you're on the left hand side with cash flow management, and this inventory management on the right hand side. And how do you have get control and handle of cash flow? And it has a direct impact on vice versa. is just having inventory management software that can handle most of the tasks. It tells you like how much you need to buy, when you need to buy, which products is running out, which are the best sellers, which are the most popular sellers, and it gives so much more information. It does heavy lifting and what's been delivered, and there's so much to talk about this the software aspect itself. And but having this inventory management software is crucial into how to manage inventory so that you can manage your cash flow in your business. So inventory management software such as Zoho can do the heavy lifting for you. And I'm not the product guy in Zoho, and that's Akhil's, but Zoho inventory is fantastic. Building a bridge between your cash flow management and inventory management. You can do things like inventory control, order management, end-to-end tracking, application integrations, purchase order management, software inventory and software management, sales comparison reporting, sales analytics, and all. And it can do so much. And now I'm going to pass on to Akhil, who's going to talk about the Zoho inventory and give you a walkthrough of how the system works and how we build the bridge between our cash flow and inventory management, so that you have control in your cash flow as well as inventory.
Hello everyone. So what I'm going to do in this next part of the webinar is basically talk about the inventory management system part of it. So as Shishir mentioned, like let's say, if you are a new business owner who are starting up, you can still use, Excel to manage your inventory and so on. So as and when you scale up, you really need an inventory management software to basically, bridge the gap between your inventory management and your cash flow. So that is where Zoho Inventory comes in. So once you log into Zoho Inventory, you will be treated with a neat dashboard wherein you can see the sales activity, which gives you an idea on, what are the quantity that needs to be packed, which has to be shipped to your customers, and what is the inventory that needs to be invoiced and so on. And it also shows you your total stock in hand, which gives you an idea. Okay, this is my inventory quantity that I have in my warehouse. Do I need to order more, and so on. So as the dashboard gives you a brief overview of all your business transaction at a glance. So this is about the dashboard. Now coming to items, this is wherein you actually create your inventory. The items is basically divided into three sections. So namely item groups, items, and composite items. Now items is nothing but wherein you add your normal line items. So all you have to do is just enter in the name, the SKU, unit, sales and purchase information, whether you would like to track the inventory. And we also offer advanced inventory tracking mechanisms like serial number and batch numbers. So let's say if you want to track, warranty, or if you want to track each and every single unit of the items, you can track the serial numbers by enabling this option. And if you want, if you are into FMCG or perishable goods, you can actually click on track batches and set up an expiry date, and you can track the expiry date of the item and run a report to see, okay, hey, my inventory, or basically these inventory is getting or expired in let's say in a week, I need to sell them. So in this way you can forecast and make your sales and make sure that you have sufficient quantity of stock as well. Apart from this, you can also create multiple locations in Zoho Inventory. So if you have multiple locations and you have a stock in those locations, you can create these stocks and enter it. So this is about basically, how you can create an item. So once you create an item, it'll look something like this. So here what you can say is basically the opening stock, wherein you can actually see the quantity which is on hand, what is the stock which is committed on actual orders, what is the available for sale that you have, and all your quantity to be shipped, how much quantity you need to be received from your vendor, and so on. So in this way you can actually forecast or manage your purchase as well as sales as well. So that is the information that the item gives you, and you can also see the various locations that you have your items in. Item groups is nothing but creating variants. So what you can do is you can type in your attribute, and let's say the options are blue, red, and so on. So you get the idea, right? So here what you can do is basically put an attribute and put out various options to it. And what Zoho Inventory does, it will group them together into an item group. So this is very useful if you are into business that sells variants. So here you can see I have created a van shoes wherein you have different sizes and the color is black. So in this way it can group the items together, and you can track them. Next would be the composite items. Composite items is nothing but your bundles, right? So you can actually add multiple line items if you sell as a bundle. All you have to do is just put the items together, select the items. We'll automatically calculate the selling and the purchase price for you. And you can again if you want to track the serial number, batch numbers for these account, you can track it and just hit save. So this would create the composite item, and as and when you sell, all you have to do is just create a bundle, and it will automatically reduce the inventory of the associated items and increase the inventory of the composite items that you sell. Price list is nothing but if you want to give a basically festival discount to your customers, you can quickly create a price list and just apply it to your sales. You can also do inventory adjustment. Let's say if your stock gets damaged when you are transporting, or something gets stolen or something gets damaged, you can quickly do an inventory adjustment to make sure that you have the correct inventory at all the time. Again, as Shishir mentioned, you want to know that you have sufficient inventory, otherwise it will definitely affect your cash flow. Now, transfer orders is nothing but, let's say you want to transfer one item from your one location to another, you can actually quickly create a transfer order and choose the destination warehouse, and you can simply initiate the transfer. So this will actually reduce the stock from the source location, and it will update the stock in your destination warehouse. Next, you have the customers. So here is wherein you can add your customers. All you have to do is enter your primary contact, the complete display name, and if you have taxes, you can put in the taxes. Save the addresses. If the contact has a contact person, you can add that. Apart from these fields, you can also enable multiple custom fields to make sure that you are capturing all the information from your customer. You can also add reporting tags, and based on that you can actually run various reports in Zoho Inventory. So here is wherein this is how a customer's page would look like, and you can see all the details, the outstanding receivables, the unused credits details, and all those details will be visible in the customer's module. Next is retainer's invoice. So retainer invoice is nothing but, let's say you are receiving an advance payment from the customer. All you can do is create a basically retainer invoice, select the customer, enter let's say advance payment, and enter the amount and hit save. So once you create a retainer invoice, so next time you basically create an invoice for that particular customer, you can adjust this retainer with that invoice. So that's about retainer invoice. Next is basically the sales orders. So as and when you receive an order from your customer, you can actually create an order or integrate with multiple sales channels, that an array of sales channels that Zoho Inventory provides, and you can automatically import the orders from your sales channels into Zoho Inventory. Now, if you're manually creating one, all you have to do is just select the customer, enter the item, enter the details, and save it. So once you save it, a sales order would look like something like this. So here is a draft sales order that I have created. So once you create that, you can do a couple of things to a sales order. What you can do is you can create a package or create a basically package. So once a package has been created, you can simply hit save. Now you can ship it using various integrations that we provide, or you can ship it manually as well. So if you have enabled after ship tracking, you can, when you ship through manually, you can actually track the shipments real time in Zoho Inventory. All you would have to do is select a carrier, enter the tracking number, and hit save. So once it has been delivered, all you have to do is mark it as delivered. So this would basically complete your shipment part. Now, if you go back to sales order, you can see that you have created a package and it has been delivered. So next step would be to create an invoice and send the invoice to the customer. So again, all you have to do is just click a button, and all the details from the sales order will follow up. and again you can save it and send the invoice to your customer. Again, here you can actually integrate with online payments to collect the payment directly from the customers. So this would basically complete the invoice part as well. And there might be cases wherein the customers returns the product back to you. For that, you can create returns as well in Zoho Inventory. So all your returns will be available in the sales return module, and you can also raise a credit note as well. Now, next is the pick list module. So this is mainly for warehousing staff, wherein they need to know which items to pick for what order. So here you can actually create one quickly as well. So all you have to do is select the user and select the warehouse from wherein you want to basically pick the order. Now, when you click on add, you can actually filter the items based on the customer name. The items that you need to pick are based on the sales orders. So I can select multiple orders and click on search. So based on the sales order, I'll get the items that has been there. So all I have to do is select and add items. So this will generate a pick list. Now what the sales guy has to do is just go into Zoho Inventory and just update the pick list. Just say 1 and 1. So this status will automatically change to completed. All the sales guy has to do is end up basically update it, and the pick list would be completed. And here I would like to basically share that Zoho Inventory comes with multi-user interface, so you can invite any number of users into Zoho Inventory and provide their own customized roles. Now all the packages that you created would be available in the packages section, and it will be divided based on whether you have shipped the package, not shipped it, delivered, and so on. Now the invoices module will contain all the invoices that you have created, and the payments received section will actually have all the payments that you receive from the customers. And the return section, as I mentioned, would have all your RMAs. So this basically completes the sales cycle. Now coming to vendors, here you can basically create a vendor very similar to what a customer. You can add all those informations. Now next would be the purchase order. Here again, all you have to do is select a vendor, select the item that you want to purchase from the vendor and hit save. Very similar to purchase order. Here again you can do a couple of things. Now you can actually create a purchase bill. So what this is basically supplier invoice, and you can basically get discounts from your customers. You can actually set up discount, like Shishir mentioned. If you talk to your suppliers and get a discount, you can actually put up a discount, and all that things basically will be taken into account in Zoho Inventory. Now I can create basically create the bill and record the payment. Apart from that, if you are basically receiving a GRN or a goods receipt note to your warehouse, what you can do is create a new purchase receipt. Again, all you have to do is select the bill and receive it. So this basically receives the items into the warehouse, and again, all the bills that you would have created will be available here, and the payments made section will contain all the payments that you made to your vendor. Now the vendor credit section actually, let's say you want to vendor supplies a damaged product to you and you want to raise a vendor credit, right? So you can create a vendor credit here and apply this vendor credit into your next bill that the vendor raises onto you. So this again is to give you a quick overview on what Zoho Inventory has. It has much more interesting features. You can head over to our YouTube channel, that is Zoho Inventory, and see an in-depth video of how Zoho Inventory works. Now moving on to integrations. So Zoho Inventory comes with an array of powerhouse integrations that we have, right from shipping, wherein you can use AfterShip, UPS, or we have around 1,000 plus integrations from different carriers. What you can do is basically integrate all of them. And apart from that, you have shopping cart, wherein you can integrate with Shopify, Zoho Commerce, and all your orders from these channels will automatically flow into Zoho Inventory, and you can from here create packages, track the shipments, raise invoices, collect the payments, and all that very smoothly and efficiently using Zoho Inventory. So we integrate with Shopify, Zoho Commerce, and we do have all the third-party integrations as well. Now, coming to e-commerce, we integrate with Amazon. We have Amazon FBA, you have Etsy, and all the other integrations as well. Now, this is the major part, right? So you don't have to let's say you are using an accounting system, right? We have a very own Zoho books, which basically seamlessly integrates with Zoho Inventory, and all the accounting information will get automatically updated in Zoho books. And let's say you want to create a cash flow statement or any accounting report that you want, you can actually generate within Zoho books. And we also integrate with QuickBooks. So if you are using QuickBooks, what we do is basically we again push all the accounting information into QuickBooks, and so that you can keep using QuickBooks and use Zoho Inventory to manage your day-to-day inventory. We also integrate with a lot of sales and marketing applications, right, from Google Shopping, and we also have an array of third-party integrations as well. For EDI, we are integrated with SPS, Crossfire, and B2B Gateway. So if you have an EDI, or if you have a 3PL system, you can use any of these integrations and manage that. We also integrate with SMS like Twilio, wherein if you want to send out SMS notifications to your customer as and when an invoice is sent and so on, you can do that as well. For Zoho apps, we integrate with CRM. So this is very on our Zoho CRM. You can basically integrate that. We also integrate with Zoho Analytics, which is our powerful BI platform. So once you integrate Zoho Inventory with Zoho Analytics, you can push all these information into Zoho Analytics, and you can get your customized report. We do offer around 40 plus reports, but if you want a customized report that makes sense for your business, you can actually integrate that and get beautiful and powerful reports from Zoho Analytics. And for other apps, we do integrate with Microsoft, Google, and Avalara. So if you want to basically automatically calculate the taxes, you can just integrate that, and you can also bring in your users and contacts and all that into Zoho Inventory from your G Suite or Microsoft Outlook, account as well. Apart from that, we do have reporting as well. So here you get 40 plus different reports. So you get committed stock details to see whether what is my committed stock. You have your inventory summary to make sure that what is my to make sure that you have you are not ordering more, or your cash flow isn't stuck in your inventory, which gives you an idea on the quantity ordered, what came in, what went out, what is my available for sale, and so on. So in this way, you have packed features wherein you can track your sale, your purchase, your inventory, and so on. And apart from that, Zoho Inventory comes with powerful automation features as well. So if you want to write a custom module or create a custom workflow in Zoho Inventory, you can do that as well. So with that, I come to the end of the webinar. And so this was all about Zoho Inventory. As I mentioned earlier, you can head over to our YouTube channel and you can see various videos and an in-depth demo of Zoho Inventory as well. So that's about Zoho Inventory. And if you guys want to know more about, or talk to Shishir, you can actually go to YouTube, Instagram, or AIAD platform to contact him as well. Thank you.